Hi, I am Dr. Lauren Wallace. I am one of the primary care physicians at St. Luke's Miller Creek Medical Clinic. I always tell people the most important thing is that they are in control of their health. We talk about joint decision makings. It's a decision that we make together on what's the next step. I want them to improve their health, right? That's the whole goal of medicine. And so we sit down and we talk about, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And then we make a plan. How do we get to that point in the healthiest way possible?
For your heart. For your hope. For your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Duluth FC Blue-Green Soccer, brought to you courtesy of the Blue-Green Stream Team, alongside our production engineer, John Lau, our head camera person, Tara Anderson, and Coach Joe Mooney. This is Matt Johnson coming to you live from Public School Stadium here in Duluth, with the Blue-Green stepping outside of MPSL North Conference action to take on the Minnesota United under-19s in their first ever Minnesota Super Cup contest. And Coach Mooney, it's a good time for the Blue-Greens to be playing this opener of the Minnesota Super Cup against a very talented Minnesota United under-19 squad. We'll talk more about them in just a moment here. But 6 up, 6 down in the win column for the Blue-Greens, a perfect 18 points. And not only are they in first place in the MPSL North, they're in first place in the entirety of the MPSL with those 18 points right now.
Yeah, Matt, obviously the Blue-Greens coming into this game in form. We've seen, I think, a pretty good progression over the last 6 games. A few, just kind of minor tweaks here and there, but no real major slip-ups, throughout the first 6 games. And obviously coming off a big road win, that one's always kind of seemed to be a little bit of a dagger for Duluth, but obviously getting a big win here on the weekend.
They came off of a win their last time out, are the Blue-Greens 5-1, and the road contest against Dakota Fusion FC down at Jim Gotta Stadium in Moorhead, Minnesota, about 2.5, 3 hours to the southwest of us here in Duluth. That was a contest that I think a lot of folks figured would give the Blue-Greens quite a challenge, but it proved not to, Coach, as the Blue-Greens scored 4 of their 5 goals in the first half in that 5-1 win. The Blue-Greens got the offense started early in that contest. Stefan Robe got things started for the Blue-Greens, the outside back from Königswinter, Germany, scored the game's first goal in the 17th minute to make it 1-0, the first of his 2 goals for the game. Tyler Limmer, meanwhile, added his 4th goal of the season just 5 minutes later in the 22nd minute for the Blue-Greens to make it 2-0. Robe then netted his 2nd goal for the brace on the game in his 4th of the season in the 30th minute to make it 3-0. And then Kostya Domorodski, in stoppage time in that first half, scored his team-leading 5th goal of the campaign in the 45th minute to give the Blue-Greens a commanding 4-goal lead at the half. The Fusion got one back in the 58th minute on a tally by Shoki Yoshida before Paul Bobai scored his first of the season for the Blue-Greens in the 69th minute to make it a 5-1 final. In goal, Zeke Foltz went all the way in goal to get his 3rd win of the season. So the Blue-Greens, through the first half of the MPSL North race, sitting at 6-0, 19 goals now scored for the Blue-Greens. They've given up just 2 so far, plus 17 in the goal differential. And with that, the Blue-Greens lead the entire NPSL in goals scored and goal differential. And like I said, things moving right along for the Blue-Greens here, looking for that 2nd all-time MPSL North Conference crown. And the Blue-Greens, like I said, in really good form heading this game here tonight.
Yeah, Matt, I think one of the real telltale signs here over the last week or maybe even 2 weeks now has been the Blue-Greens have been scoring in bunches, so when they get that first goal, they're not kind of sitting back or letting things kind of sink in a little bit. I mean, they're hitting the gas pedal, and I think that's that cutthroat mentality that, at times last season, I think they were missing a bit at times. So good to see them in that kind of form. Like we said, this is a whole new deal tonight with the Minnesota Super Cup, and I think it'll be really, like we said, they're kind of hitting this at a very good time.
Minnesota United, meanwhile, the Little Loons, as they're called, the U-19s, under Fernando Adi, who is their head coach, conclude their most recent campaign by going 4-5-3 in the Mid-America division of MLS Next U-19. The Loons finished with a total of 15 points in the Mid-America division, placing them 7th. Columbus Crew won that division with a total of 31 points. Shattuck St. Mary's, another Minnesota entity, by the way, also has a team that plays in the Mid-America division of MLS Next, and they finished in 5th place. They went 7-3-2, so there's a couple of Minnesota teams actually that play in that elite level of the MLS Next U-19. The Loons concluded their league schedule with a pair of games on May 19th and 20th, in which they played Sockers FC to a 4-4 draw before defeating Vardar Soccer Club 3-2 on the following day. So they have not played a league game since the 20th of May. So there's a little bit of a gap there between their last game and this game here today. We'll see if the Blue-Greens can take advantage of that, of course. Those contests are played, by the way, in Schaumburg and Glen Ellen, Illinois, respectively. But the Loons have already played a game in the Minnesota Super Cup. They defeated Minneapolis City SC 1-0, defeating the Crows in the first game of the competition on May 5th. That game was played at Edor Nelson Field in Minneapolis. So the Loons, like I said, have not played as much. The Little Loons coming in this contest here today, and we'll see if that's thrown them off just a little bit here, a couple weeks off for them heading in this game against the Blue-Greens.
Matt, I have to expect the quality of training that they go through on a daily basis. Like, I think they'll be primed for this. I wouldn't be surprised if they played some friendlies, kind of behind closed doors in the meantime to kind of prime up for this one. And obviously the quality, you've seen it already in the warm-up here. As we look down the roster, a lot of familiar names for folks in the Midwest here. Minnesota soccer is really on the radar, and there are some players down there. They're going to be future top-level college players or future pros really out there on the field tonight.
Also talk a little bit here about the Minnesota Super Cup, by the way. This is the first ever Minnesota Super Cup. The competition was just formed here in 2023. The format features 6 clubs from around Minnesota playing in groups of 3. The team in which 4 teams will move on to the semifinal rounds of the competition, which will be held July 21st through the 23rd, with the final eventually being held on July 29th at McAllister Stadium in St. Paul at 7 p.m. opening kick for that one. 6 teams participating this year, of course, are the Blue Greens, Minnesota United, the U-19s, of course, here today, Minneapolis City SC, Med City FC, Vlora FC, and St. Croix Legends. Med City, a fellow MPSL North Conference member, has already clinched a place in the semifinal round by virtue of a 1-0 win over Vlora FC on May 17th and a 3-1 win over St. Croix Legends last night in Stillwater. So that gives you kind of an overview of how the competition is structured, and should be an interesting event here tonight, Coach. It's always fun to see an inaugural competition take place, and certainly a first for the Blue Greens and also for Minnesota United's under-19s as you get a look at it. The full format on your screens there. It should be, like I said, interesting here tonight to see how it all plays out.
Well, Matt, I think this is a game that we've kind of had circled in red here since the start of the season, and I think this will be a team in Minnesota United's Little Loons, as they call them. I think it'll be maybe the first team that Duluth FC has seen that'll be able to match them on a technical level. I think that they've been, in all their games so far, in some ways the superior team technically. But this will be a team that I fully expect they'll have every bit of skill as Duluth will. So Duluth is going to need to rely a little bit more on their athleticism. They've got guys in their squad that are 22, 23, 24 years old. Guys that have played all throughout their college career. So if they can rely on that physicality a little bit, I think they're going to need that in this game. Again, I think it's going to be a different test than what they've seen up to this point.
So that's an overview of where we're at here heading in this first ever Minnesota Super Cup contest for the Blue Greens of Duluth FC. And with that being the case, we'll take a quick break and then come back with a look at the Blue Greens starting lineup. That's coming up right after this. This is Duluth FC Soccer, brought to you courtesy of the Blue Green Stream Team.
Hi, I am Dr. Lauren Wallace. I am one of the primary care physicians at St. Luke's Miller Creek Medical Clinic. I always tell people the most important thing is that they are in control of their health. We talk about joint decision makings. It's a decision that we make together on what's the next step. I want them to improve their health, right? That's the whole goal of medicine. And so we sit down and we talk about, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And then we make a plan. How do we get to that point in the healthiest way possible?
For your heart. For your hope. For your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future.
Stadium for this first ever Minnesota Super Cup contest for the Blue Greens against the Little Loons, Minnesota United under-19s. And as usual, we'll look at the starting lineup here for the Blue Greens in this contest. And we'll start out where we always start out, it seems, as starting in the back, number 3, Jake Starling, by the way, who's breaking a club record here today with his 45th all-time appearance. He is now going to be the all-time leader in appearances for Duluth FC's. Congratulations to Jake in his 4th season. Of course, longtime captain, and good to see him in there. I mean, he's been a staple in the lineup, obviously, now that he's the all-time leader in appearances starting tonight. And actually, in about 5 minutes or so, it'll be official. But 45th all-time appearance for Jake Starling in Central Defense tonight.
I'm sick of talking about him.
On the next thing. Okay.
No, Jake, just kidding, man. Congrats on that. What a milestone for you, man, and you just keep trucking. Love you, buddy. Just keep it rolling.
Also starting at Central Defense, number 5, Dylan Zabatini, who has come off the bench the last couple of weeks, has 1 goal on the season, has made a difference. He will get the start as a Central defender as well. Meanwhile, in the holding midfielder slot, there'll be another guy we penciled in the lineup just about every day, Andres Solares, the Guatemalan Central midfielder, one of the best holding midfielders in NPSL, and he gets the start again here tonight.
Yeah, Matt, I think he's going to be absolutely essential tonight. Like we talked about, I think the Loons are going to have a little bit more of a technical ability. I think they're going to play through the midfield a little bit more and look for Solaris to really be trying to sit in and bust up a lot of their play.
Starting at one of the back slots is going to be Kean Gantley for the Blue Greens. Of course, he started at one of the back positions virtually all of last year. He will start in the back for Duluth FC. Starting up top, the second leading goal scorer for the Blue Greens this season, the grandfather on the team in certain ways, Tyler Limmer. He will get the start as a forward. He'll be joined up top by the Blue Greens' leading scorer on the season, Kostya Domoratsky. 5 goals and counting for Kostya this season. He's got 10 in his Blue Greens career. He'll look to add to it here tonight.
Yeah, Matt, I think, between the 2 players you just mentioned, between Limmer and Domoratsky, I do think that they can give Minnesota some problems. Look for them to get early service into both of those players. Try to, get in between the lines a little bit. And I think, like I said, they can cause some problems.
Also getting a start, Felipe Oliveira in the middle, the native of Belo Horizonte in Brazil, a guy who we were hoping would get in the lineup at some point. He's going to get in there. Very creative midfield player. I know you like him a lot.
Yeah, Matt, absolutely. Obviously, one of our fellow Yellow Jackets there, Felipe, getting the start tonight. He's had a couple of times that he's come on off the bench and done well, I think, but this will be his first start of the campaign tonight. And I talked to him for a minute before the game, and I can tell you he's very excited to get going here.
Yeah, I saw him before the game. He had a big smile on his face as well. Also getting the start tonight, no surprises here either. Colin O'Mahony, who is a little bit of a jack of all trades for the Blue Greens. He's played up front, played some outside back as well. That's really where he shines. He was his conference's Defensive Player of the Year for his college club out in Monterey Bay, California. We'll talk more about that as we move along here, but he'll get a start here today as well. Very versatile, good player, really good with his left foot.
Yeah, Matt, and like you said, he's made the transition up into that wing spot. He's a player that anywhere in the channel he can be dangerous. So a good transition for him to get forward, and he's actually provided, I think, Duluth with a little bit of spark out of that right wing spot.
Paul Bobai also will get a start here tonight. The Nigerian midfielder, he gets the start at the midfield slot, been coming off the bench for the most part, but scored his first goal of the season last time out in that 5-0 win against Dakota. He gets a start here tonight. And in goal for the Blue Greens, another UWS Yellow Jacket product, Alex Paredes, gets the start, as well as Ken Pride, who is starting in Central Defense. There you go, look at Pride. Sorry, I overlooked Ken Pride there for a bit, but he's getting a start as well at one of the back slots. And then rounding out the lineup, for the Blue Greens is Alex Paredes in goal. Got injured in his first outing against La Crosse Eris, but he's back now, and good to see him get back in there.
Yeah, Matt, and I'm sure you were excited to announce his name, which is why we skipped over a little bit there. That happens, but I don't.
Apologies to Ken Pride and family on that one.
I don't think you're more excited than Alex is to get his second start of the season here. Had a good outing against La Crosse. It really came up big on a couple of occasions, and I do think you'll see some action tonight.
So that's the starting 11 for the Blue Greens. We'll go look at the formation for Duluth FC here tonight. 4-3-3. There's a look, Paredes and the back line, along with Ken Pride and Colin O'Mahony on the outside, Jake Starling and Dylan Zabatini anchoring the middle. Kean Gantley moves up from an outside back position to a forward on the left side. Kostya Domoratsky on the right wing. Tyler Limmer will play the target forward, while the midfielders of Bobai, Solaris, and Oliveira in the middle, with James Price. Santiago Arazo, who has gotten a lot of minutes recently in Central Defense, he will be on the bench tonight, as will Connor Behan, who has started the last few games for the Blue Greens in the middle, along with Rory Doyle. The 2 Irishmen will be in the middle. Felipe Santos also coming off the bench tonight, along with Felipe Artiega, so the 2 Felipes on the bench, and Manny Morales, who has been a key reserve all year long, also on the bench tonight for Duluth FC under head coach Sean Morgan.
Yeah, Matt, some good rotation in the squad tonight. A few faces that we haven't seen as much here over the past few games, but also a very strong core there. We talked about Domoratsky, Solaris, Starling, those guys. They've just been perennial starters, and I think it's good that they've kind of kept that core together for tonight's game.
So that's your starting 11 for the Blue Greens here, and with that being the case, that'll bring an end to our pregame here as the Blue Greens opening up the Minnesota Super Cup against Minnesota United, the under 19 squad, here in a few minutes. So with that being the case, we'll take a quick audio break, come back, and throw things over to our public address announcer for the night, Chris Allen, for the introduction of the 2 teams, the national anthem, and then eventually the opening kick of the Super Cup contest between the Blue Greens and the Little Loons of Minnesota United. That's coming up right after this. This is Duluth Blue Green FC Soccer brought to you courtesy of the Blue Green Stream Team.
Good evening, soccer fans, and welcome to Public School Stadium. Tonight's Minnesota Super Cup match features Minnesota United Under-19 squad versus your Duluth FC Blue Greens. Let's introduce the teams for tonight's matchup. First, the starting lineup for Minnesota United. Number 8, Cage Romanchin. Number 9, Cooper Lajewski. Number 10, Leo Kana. Number 15, Tamer Ibises. Number 17, Miguel Leon. Number 27, Perry Blade. Number 29, Thomas Kniser. Number 43, Jack Roach. Number 58, Jonah Gasho. Number 70, Merrick Schaefer. And number 85, Drew Brown. Coaching Minnesota United is Fernando Adi. And now, your starting 11 for the Blue Greens. Number 3, Jake Starling. Number 5, Dylan Zabatini. Number 6, Andreas Solaris. Number 8, Kian Gadley. Number 9, Tyler Limmer. Number 10, Kotsia Domaratsky. Number 14, Felipe Oliveria. Number 18, Colin O'Mahony. Number 21, Paul Bobai. Number 26, Ken Pride. And our goalkeeper for the evening, number 33, Alex Paredes. Coaching Duluth FC is Sean Morgan. Assistant coaches, Greg Gilmore, Corey Bueller, Craig Chudley, and Barry Chasty. Your officials for the evening, referee Joshua Mahoney. The assistant referee, Dan Sandell. Assistant referee, Luke Bungie. And the fourth official for tonight is Jeremy Euchre. Our national anthem will be performed by Reagan Kern. Reagan Kern is thrilled to be singing the national anthem at the Duluth FC soccer game. Reagan is a sophomore at Denfeld High School, where she recently starred in Chicago, Teen Edition as Roxy. She regularly appears in theater productions throughout the Northland, and when she isn't in rehearsals, you can find her continuing her dance training at Medill Performing Arts Center. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise, and if you are able to remove your caps, honor America with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets record the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good evening. On behalf of all the players of the Duluth FC team, we want to thank our premier athletic team sponsor, St. Luke's. St. Luke's is proud to be the official sports medicine team for the Duluth FC. They strive every day to keep our athletes healthy.
So the
and
national
performing at
anthem
the top
has
of their
been
game.
played. The two teams have been introduced by our public address announcer, Chris Allen, here for the night. And the Blue Greens and the Minnesota United under-19 team are about to get underway here. First ever Minnesota Super Cup contest for the Blue Greens against the Little Loons. We're going to look at the standings in the one half of the Super Cup group race. There's a Group A and a Group B. We talked a little bit about that in our first segment here this evening. Minnesota United, of course, having won their first game 1-0 over Minneapolis City. That game came way back in early May. So it's been a few weeks for the Little Loons, as they're known, since playing that game against the Crows down at Edor Nelson Field, that 1-0 contest going to the Loons. And there again, you get a look at the Super Cup and the teams that are involved there. We talked about that heading in the Group A. It is Duluth FC, Minneapolis City, and also Minnesota United, the under-19s, whereas on Group B, St. Croix Legends, Med City FC, who's already qualified for the semifinal round in late July, and Vlora FC, comprising the 6-team competition here. Inaugural 2023 edition of the Minnesota Super Cup, and Coach Joe Mooney, like I said, we weren't quite sure how this was going to feel coming in. We're not really accustomed to having the Blue Greens play games out of MPSL competition. The rest of the MPSL North, by the way, playing their regularly scheduled games here tonight. The Blue Greens and the 7-team conference, the odd man out, and so it made sense for them to be playing Minnesota United here tonight. But interesting contest here tonight. It's a young squad for Minnesota United, of course, all of them under 19 and under. So it will be a much older, more veteran squad for Duluth FC, probably bigger, a little bit more stronger, a little bit more developed physically, but the skill levels will be probably pretty comparable at the very least, I would say.
Yeah, Matt, I think really for both teams tonight, I would expect, again, we've said this once or twice here on some of these home games, but I would expect a bit of a kind of a pragmatic start to the game.
Right,
I think, the first 10 minutes, both teams kind of trying to feel each other out a little bit. As you mentioned, Minnesota United hasn't had a lot of recent competitions, so you have to think that they're probably going to come in, and just try to settle in a little bit here. But, I've said that before, and we've seen early goals as well. So,
right.
I think everybody just hoping for 90 minutes of good action.
There definitely is a size advantage here for the Blue Greens. You can even see it as the two teams taking the field here. The Blue Greens, bigger, more physical team. We'll see if they can use that to their advantage against a Minnesota United under-19 squad. I know you've recruited a lot of these players. You're familiar with them from camps and various other showcases throughout the Midwest area. So I know you're familiar with some of them. Very technical, a lot of them, aren't they?
Yeah, very well represented here for Minnesota and really like the Twin Cities area, Matt. So again, a lot of these players are familiar names, household names to anybody that kind of follows youth soccer in Minnesota and in the Midwest here. It'll be, again, I think a very fun night to see how they do against some of these players, like we said, that are a little bit up there in their age and just a little bit more physically developed. A lot of these guys, on the Duluth side, have been on college lifting programs for 2, 3, 4 years, right?
Right. Yep.
And you would think that might be the difference in some areas.
So we'll see how things shake out here. The Loons in the sky blue jerseys will be going from left to right here in the opening 45 minutes. The Blue Greens, as usual, in their green and white hoops, going from right to left here in the opening 45 minutes. Glad you could join us for this Minnesota Super Cup contest between the Blue Greens at Duluth FC and the Minnesota United U-19 Little Loons here as we get ready to get this contest underway officially. Just waiting for the word from our center referee here tonight to get things underway. And like I said, it'll be interesting to see how the first 5, even 10 minutes go as the Little Loons kick off, and we are officially underway here. Minnesota Super Cup action between Duluth FC and Minnesota United, the under-19s making the trip up I-35 to take on the Blue Greens here tonight at Public School Stadium. Good night for soccer, by the way. A little bit breezy on the field beforehand. Temperatures were in the mid-60s on the field before the game as that's Jake Starling for the Blue Greens trying to clear it away right off the get. And now it'll come back into the Little Loons end of the field. And here's Tyler Limmer there taking it on the right foot, and now he'll square it to the outside. On the right foot now, this is O'Mani trying to play a ball in the middle, knocked down, now cleared away by the Little Loons, and now Minnesota United trying to come forward here. As I said, it's been a few weeks since they played a meaningful game that actually counted, as Tyler Limmer now crosses the ball into the middle of the Little Loons 18. Minnesota United now will clear it away. Duluth FC trying to send the ball in deep, and now here's a ball forward. Cooper Lajewski, who is a player I know you're familiar with. You brought him up specifically off air as a player that you had been trying to recruit to UWS, decided to go the other direction, and there he is again on the ball for the Minnesota United under-19s, but now tackled away, and here for the Blue Greens is Colin O'Mani. And O'Mani now for you. The Blue Greens will play in the middle, now intercepted, and now on the counterattack, here come the Little Loons through the outside. Cross, knocked down, now they'll take it back wide. Playing it into the middle, headed away by Zabatini for Duluth FC. And this is now Kean Gantley for Andreas Solaris, the Guatemalan holding midfielder, now looks to switch the field. Sends it near side, brought down over there by Perry Blay. Plays ball forward, intercepted by Jake Starling, and now the Blue Greens will play it all the way back.
Matt, already you've seen Duluth on a couple of occasions just use their arms, try to give themselves some more length. You saw it in the very opening sequence with Tyler Limmer just kind of giving Schaefer a little bit of a shove there, and just again I think just trying to set that physical tone.
Now here's a turnover coming in on the right foot. Here's a shot. That one goes wide. That one off the left foot of Miguel Leon, who came in after a turnover from Jake Starling. A little bit uncharacteristic there for Starling to give that ball away. And the shot goes wide out the left foot of Leon. A little bit of a warning shot across the bow there for the Blue Greens now, as here's O'Mani coming forward. Played short, no, Kostya Domoratsky will step back. Playing in the middle now, and here's Dylan Zabatini.
Matt, very lucky there for Jake Starling. Like you said, uncharacteristic of him to give the ball there, but really Duluth has to feel pretty lucky that they didn't get punished on that sequence.
I was fully expecting that one to go in the back of the net. Thankfully, the shot went wide. Paredes looked like he had a pretty good beat on it, but it will now be a throw for Duluth FC. Far side, Ken Pride, St. Scholastica product, will have the throw in here. Three-time all-conference member, Ken Pride. Now the ball out on top. Here's Solaris. Wide now. Kostya Domoratsky, edge of the 18. Steps through on the right foot. Has it taken off his foot. Right to O'Mani. O'Mani playing it in the middle. Clogged up. Well done by Minnesota United. Now taken back to their direction. And they're going to call a foul. Late call on that one as Domoratsky dancing on the 18, trying to cross it back in.
Yeah, and I think they got Domoratsky there just for a little bit tug on the shoulder. And I think he maybe clipped his heels on the way to that ball.
Starting keeper today, by the way, Jack Roach for the Little Loons. Plays that ball forward. Now Zabatini will play it back for Paredes. Paredes now with the left foot to the outside. Kean Gantley trying to flick it back through the middle. Felipe Oliveira getting his first touch of the night. Now taken off of his foot, now all the way back. Tamer Ibzas trying to play it back now. They play it back wide. Here's Leon again, Miguel Leon. Has the ball taken off of his foot by Kostya Domorotsky. Now Starling goes all the way back now for keeper Alex Paredes. And Paredes now will go for Dylan Zabatini. Zabatini. As the pressure is put on now by Cooper Lajewski here for Minnesota United. Ball forward, that one headed back by Perry Blay. Brought down Solaris. Outside now O'Mani. Colin O'Mani. Tyler Limmer now checking back. Tried to flick it through. That one broken up. Nice defensive play there by Tamer Ibzas. And we'll go all the way back now for Roach. Give it a ride toward midfield. Trying to break forward now. Leo Kane on the outside. Kane on the right foot. Into the middle now. Oliveira will track back. And Felipe Oliveira goes all the way back for future college teammate Alex Paredes. I know you're happy about that.
Yeah, man. We've talked about Felipe a couple times here, and
yeah,
obviously excited to have him kind of go full tilt with us this fall.
Haven't had a chance to really get him on the field that much so far this summer, but very creative offensive player. I know you like him a lot. As Jake Starling now in the middle. Here's Paul Bobai. Bobai has the ball taken off of his foot now to the outside, and the Little Loons will go all the way back now into the 18 for Roach. This is Drew Brown now playing it forward, overshoots everybody. I think he was looking for Lajewski on that left wing, coach. Didn't quite hit him. And Paredes out of the top of his 18 now as Duluth FC will settle down and take possession. Here's Zabatini. To the outside now and into the middle of the field. Took a deflection. Play back now. Now Lajewski near the midfield stripe on the overlap. Well done on that one by Minnesota United. Here they come in now, edge of the 18. Trying to cross it in. Solaris comes all the way back. Clears it away. It'll be collected far side by Thomas Kanizer. This is the wide back now, back for Kanizer on the right foot. In the middle now, Tamer Ibzas will go back outside now. Here's Merrick Schaefer. Outside now here is Drew Brown. Brown, looks like he's the tallest member of the starting 11 here for Minnesota United. Has the ball taken off of his foot. And now this one will be clipped over the top. Paredes a little bit late coming out for it. It's taken away from him. Played toward the middle. Thankfully Jake Starling was there. Paredes got a little bit of a late break on that one, coach, and nearly cost him again. Duluth FC, a couple of mental mistakes here to start, but no damage done yet.
Yeah, like we said, Matt, really fortunate here a couple of times in the opening 7 minutes.
Here's Zabatini now into the middle. Stepping through. Also Solaris figures it wide. O'Mani on the left foot. Domorotsky, Kostya Domorotsky dancing through, plays it wide. Now O'Mani on the left foot. Crosses it in. Here's Oliveira timing up the volley there, and it skipped on him a little bit. He couldn't quite get over it. Half volley on that one with the right foot, and it skips off the outside of his boot to the far side, and it'll be a throw here coming up for the Little Loons. Into the 8th minute here so far, no score. Plenty of action so far, though, Coach. I was wondering if maybe the two teams have played a little bit closer to the vest, but not the case here so far, as now Minnesota United coming back the other direction on an odd man break. And Lajewski has it taken off of his foot.
Yeah, Matt, you've seen a little bit of difference in just the approach here between the two teams. Duluth has had a little bit more success trying to advance the ball through the channels. Minnesota United, in the early going here, has been a little bit more direct, and they've been able to kind of capitalize on a couple of Duluth FC's mistakes.
Zabatini now to the outside. There's a turnover. Ball in the middle. Now taken back. It was Ken Pride, unfortunately, who gave it away. Now here is Kean Gantley dancing through a couple of Minnesota United players. Sending it off into the corner. And it'll be too far for the on-rushing Felipe Oliveira. It'll be a throw here coming up for Minnesota United as we're into the 9th minute now. Scoreless contest here. Expecting a big crowd tonight. got to say, we've been pretty lucky so far with the weather so far here this summer, Coach. We really haven't had any adverse conditions for the players to play through as far as on the pitch in terms of temperature or wind.
Yeah, another perfect night here, Matt, and obviously, like you said, a big crowd. Hermantown soccer night, so a lot of youth players from the Hermantown club out in attendance.
Zavattini now here, Solaris. Drea Solaris trying to bend the ball near side. That one read well by Minnesota United, played back by Bobai. Paul Bobai plays his college soccer for Christian Brothers University, tipping it over the top. Now here's Felipe Oliveira. Oliveira trying to get through. Well done that time by Drew Brown. That could have been a dangerous opportunity there for the Blue Greens.
Yeah, Matt, and you'll see that from Felipe. He likes to break lines like that. He likes to come out of the midfield on that sort of a delayed run like that and become the highest guy forward. And you saw him almost connect on that one.
Here's Zavattini now. Dylan Zavattini on the right foot to the outside, Limmer. Tyler Limmer now on the outside, on the right foot again.
Nice turn there from Limmer.
Yeah, trying to take it wide, crosses it in. Will be brought down now by Brown, and now he'll try to clear it. Intercepted there by Solaris. Short for Bobai, plays it back Solaris. Good ball movement here from the Blue Greens. Domaratsky on. O'Mani now trying to cross it in, and he'll draw the first corner kick of the game. Plays it off of Perry Blade. It'll be a corner kick. Near side corner flag here for the Blue Greens.
Matt, you saw an example there from Tyler Limmer. You know, he's so long. He's got so much length to him that he can really occupy a lot of space. And then on the turn, he makes himself very narrow to get very tidy as he kind of dances along the touchline there.
Yeah, Limmer standing a full 6'3", able to get those long legs, like you said, going. As here's the corner kick coming in from Kosha Domaratsky. Cleared away. And now looks like Minnesota United wants to counter back. It's a 2-on-1. Taking it wide now. This is Tamer Ibzace. Ibzace now on the right foot, trying to cross it in. It might have been deflected. And now here for the Blue Greens is Solaris. He gets met as he tried to make his way toward midfield. And now Minnesota United will collect, start working it through the midfield here. Here's Kane on the outside. Ken Pride came over to meet him. Now the ball taken wide into the box, and it'll be a loose ball grabbed by Alex Paredes off the turf. Looks like he's mostly recovered from that sternum injury that he had against La Crosse Eris. As now here's a bending ball forward, beautifully played that time by Domaratsky off into the corner. Brown gonna have to try to run this down and keep it from going out, and he won't do so. It'll be a corner kick, and how about that? Through ball from Kosha Domaratsky, Coach.
Yeah, and again, you just see a quick example of his ability to impact the game there with Felipe making the far side run.
We'll have a corner kick. Looks like it'll be Colin O'Mani that'll come over and take it with that swinging left foot that he has, Coach.
Yeah, and you saw Brown took a good angle to the ball and was able to beat Oliveira getting to the ball, but you saw Felipe just kind of put that arm out, and again, just an example of that physicality.
Yep.
The officials will let him play a little bit here tonight. It was just enough to knock him off balance where that ball went out of bounds.
Manny with the crossed arms. Will bend it in with the left foot, low and hard. That one headed away by Ledusky, who came back defensively. Domaratsky. Well, they played short. Here's Tyler Limmer. Onside so far. Ball in the middle. Brought down now Bobai. The outside Starling. Trying to go back post. He wanted to take a little bit off that one. Find Limmer on the back post there, Coach, maybe. And he just overcooked it a little bit, did Jake Starling. Now the club record in all-time appearances. Congratulations, Jake. It's 45th all-time showing for Duluth FC here tonight.
I'm sure he would have loved to celebrate that milestone with a goal on that.
Now a little bit of a high press here from Limmer. As off the goal kick now. Minnesota United trying to build from the back.
Duluth, a few times in these early sequences, it just kind of looked like they've been lacking a little bit of that sharpness. You know, you saw the ball kind of drop onto a few of the forwards there and on that corner kick play, and just a hair off on each one of their touches.
It's going to be Gage Ramashin who's going to draw a foul against Andres Solaris. It will be a free kick here coming up for Minnesota United. We're in the 14th minute here, still scoreless. Good action so far.
Yeah, and you've seen
the two sides.
Andreas go to ground a couple times early and just get nipped with the foul on that one. He's a physical player, Matt. He doesn't shy away from any kind of physical confrontation, does he?
No, he does not. Romanchin now standing over this one, and he'll play it over the top, and Paredes to his right will grab that one out of the air with no trouble. Paredes, who was in goal for that 1-0 win against La Crosse Harris. That was the last time we saw Alex, and played the rest of that game. He got injured actually very early in that contest against Harris.
Yeah, and it turns out it was friendly fire. It was his own player.
Yeah, Connor Behan unfortunately hit him on a clearing attempt, and he, like I said, ended up
just a bruised sternum, and but I can tell you he was in a fair bit of discomfort.
He was indeed. I talked to him quite often, Paredes, and he kind of told me that he was not sure if he was going to be able to make it back for the rest of the summer or not, but he's back in there now, and apparently a fast healer as the ball finds its way all the way back to the Minnesota United 18. There's Roach to grab it, or played, excuse me, with his foot to the outside.
Well, Matt, if you're a goalkeeper, you're going to have to expect a fair bit of contact, and there's going to be some bumps and bruises along any kind of campaign. So good to see Alex back in there.
This is Drew Brown now for Minnesota United into the middle.
Matt, we watched that game, if you remember, at Clyde Ironworks.
We did, yes.
And when he went down, there was no sound. There was no commentary crew, and so we were kind of wondering. And to be honest, I was a bit nervous as he was down on the turf for a bit.
Lajewski now, good ball through the middle. Now coming in, here's the shot, nice save by Paredes, and
he's offside.
Would have been offside anyway, but a nice build up there by the Little Loons. Now is Kane coming in on the back door. Timed his run well, just a half step off.
Matt, I will say it's very obvious, that Minnesota United plays together year-round. You can just see it in the way that they kind of click in by comparison to Duluth. Again, I think that Duluth will have the physical battle won, but United, you can just tell they've been playing together for many months. It's sequences like that where you see just the timing of the runs, the little subtleties, the head picking up, the spaces that they're seeing, and it really is kind of like clockwork for them.
It really is. As here now is Ken Pride on the outside. Ball brought down. Now Minnesota United, they'll play it all the way back. Jack Roach now back outside. Here's Drew Brown. Now you can tell how well drilled they are. They understand exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah, they're very intentional as they break out, Matt. The numbers that they give forward, there's, very specific spacing that you're seeing, and again, just the timing of the runs, the angles that they're going into. It's very systematic.
Ibsace now coming back. This is Tamer Ibsace on the right foot, bending ball near side, read by Coach Domorowski, and he'll head it out of play. We'll have a throw coming up for the Little Loons in the 17th minute.
Matt, the other thing you'll see with Minnesota United here throughout the night that you've seen kind of in the first 16 minutes is that they're very quick to compress the line. So as they send the ball forward, you'll watch the backs and the midfield get up underneath the forwards, and they compress those lines to create tighter spaces to play into.
This is Merrick Schaefer coming forward on the right foot. Now back for Roach. Very patient. And the build-up here are the Little Loons here so far. Talked about it in the open. They play their League Soccer and MLS next, the under-19 division. The Mid-America division, to be specific. As this ball comes near side, headed out by Domorotsky. Throw coming up here. Perry Blay will take it.
Oh, he was actually on the field, Matt. He was seeing the white line down there, not the yellow one. I'm sure they'll just
we've seen that happen a few times on this field.
Yeah. And I guess I don't know what the official ruling is there. Apparently it's a throw-in for the other team.
Throw-in for the other team. I guess it could have been, well, because play is technically dead until the ball comes back in. So, yeah, it would be, I guess, considered a foul throw. As on the outside now, Kean Gantley.
I'm going to assume the officials got that one right, and we'll move on.
Back for Ken Pride. We're going to have a foul called now on Oliveira. It'll be a free kick here coming up for Minnesota United.
Man, one of the things that Duluth FC is going to have to get used to, they haven't seen much of this so far this year, where an opponent is keeping three guys high. Between Cooper, Kone, and Leon up there, they've constantly occupied Duluth FC's back four. And most teams that they've seen, it's kind of like they keep one guy high, but a lot of times those wingers are actually being recruited further back in the field to try to help deal with Duluth FC's press a bit.
Here is Here's Jack Roach now, starting keeper tonight for Minnesota United. To the outside, Drew Brown. That's spell position here for Minnesota United over the last about 5 minutes or so as Roach has it back. Sends it to the outside now. Here's Merrick Schaefer. Schaefer on the right foot. Ball forward, nobody in a blue jersey there. Picked off easily by O'Mani. Colin O'Mani now for Duluth FC to the outside. Here's Coach Domorotsky, and good intervention there by Schaefer. Otherwise, if the touch is a little bit less heavy there for Coach Domorotsky, he has a good chance to cross that in with the left foot. Goal kick here coming up as we are nearly 20 minutes elapsed here in the opening half.
Matt,
your impressions so far, Coach?
Well, I was just going to say, I just wonder if maybe United had done a good bit of scouting and saw that Duluth FC tries to get their fullbacks up in the attack, quite a bit, and so possibly tactically from United, they've tried to keep those forwards higher just to kind of take O'Mani and Pride out of the mix a little bit.
There's Domorotsky now to the outside, and a step over that one, keep it in, was Ibzace, and they're going to call a foul against Ibzace, it looks like. So it'll be a free kick here for the Blue Greens. O'Mani standing over it.
Matt, I guess I didn't see much of a foul there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he reached out and grabbed a piece of his jersey. I'm not sure.
Tough to say, but
yeah, I don't know.
And again, I do think that the officials have kind of let them play through quite a bit in the first 20 minutes, so a bit surprised to see that one come along here.
O'Mani on the left foot, Domorotsky on the right foot. Now short tap for Domorotsky, steps in, gets a shot away and leaves it wide. About 30 yards out from Kostya on that one. Misses the near side post. It'll be a goal kick here coming up for Jack Roach as we're in the 21st minute here.
Yeah, Matt, not anything overly intricate with that play, but you saw O'Mani on the step over run into the space kind of wide to try to force the defender to make a decision. Was he going to try to defend wide, or was he going to stay with Kostya? And really, he kind of got stuck in the middle there and gave Kostya a pretty open look at goal. Unfortunately for Domorotsky, he mishit the ball and didn't get a great shot off.
Now ball toward midfield. Kane had it at his foot momentarily, taken out by Ken Pride. Now he'll send it wide. O'Mani has some space. He'll come forward. Colin O'Mani to the outside. Domorotsky now back for Jake Starling. Starling picking out Pride, far side. Also in the mix is Kean Gantley. Gantley now gets the pass back. Left-footed ball in the middle, overshoots Domorotsky. It'll be run down, though, near sideline. On the left foot, it's O'Mani.
Matt, a good example there that's led to the possession here for Duluth FC of just Solaris getting back, like we talked about. A big role for him tonight is going to be just his breakup play and trying to really bust up any kind of sequences that United is trying to string together.
This stoppage brought to you by University of Wisconsin Superior.
We'll have a throw coming up now near side. Perry Blay will take it for United. Leon flicked it forward, now sent back by the Blue Greens. Yet to be settled here after the throw. Still not settled as it's volleyed up in the air by Andreas Solaris. Now finally it comes down to the deck, and now here's Kean Gantley, and they're going to call a foul on Gantley, and that's, I don't know.
Yeah, and Kean's got to be just a little bit more disciplined there. He had the position in on the ball, and I think just reached out and kind of gave an extra shot there. And again, it's one of those plays where if you can stay disciplined in that scenario, you're probably walking away with possession and actually numbers going forward.
Here's Drew Brown now coming across midfield, outside back. And then he loses it, so he'll go out of play. Throw coming up here for the Blue Greens. Halfway through this opening 45 minutes, no score.
Good response there from Kean to just win that possession back.
Ken Pride will take the throw here. Far side, here's Oliveira now flicking it forward. Now Leon. Kane in the middle. Manchin had it momentarily. Now Leon into space. Now Zabatini. He'll go all the way back. Paredes with the left foot. Far side, and it'll go out of play. And they're going to call a foul on Minnesota United here. Call that one against Ibzace, it looks like. It'll be a free kick here coming up.
Well, Matt, for as much as they let him play on in the first 20 minutes, these last couple minutes in these most recent sequences, they've really tightened things up. A lot more trivial plays being called. And really throughout the game, I mean, there's going to be some ups and downs in terms of the referee, and you want to see consistency, from play to play. So there's going to be stretches of the game where it's going to be a little bit looser called, and they'll tighten up a little bit. And as long as in those stretches everything's consistent, really as a coach or as a player, you can get by with that.
Starling now. To the outside. Flicks forward now off the head of Kean Ganley, looking for Limmer. And it'll go out of play. We'll have a goal kick here coming up. Into the 25th minute, still scoreless between Minnesota United under-19s and Duluth FC. Minnesota Super Cup, first ever Super Cup contest for Duluth FC, second one for the U-19s of Minnesota United here in the summer of 2023, as Jack Roach, the starting keeper here for Minnesota United, will give this one a ride eventually, it looks like. As he sends it long over midfield. Skips the head there of Zabatini. Ken Pride now ranging back. And here's Solaris sending it forward. Now here's Tyler Limmer trying to get around Drew Brown on the outside. Coming over from central defense, playing it over to the far side. Well
Nice.
done that time by the Little Loons to break that play up.
I was just going to say, and a nice turn there from Limmer again. I mean, just to take it off his thigh and instantly into space. He's so good at just kind of controlling that space and changing direction and changing speeds. In the end, just didn't have that final burst to maybe get on the end of that ball.
And we're going to have a foul call now as Oliveira able to take the ball away, and it'll be a free kick in a dangerous spot here for the Blue Greens. Less than 30 yards away from Jack Roach's goal in the 26th minute here.
And Matt, Felipe is very good at that in terms of occupying that space. He's not a real big body, but he's certainly broad enough to just kind of lengthen himself out. He makes it very hard for a defender to get at the ball, and eventually the defender has to make a choice. Am I going to let him kind of stay on the ball, or am I going to take a stab at it? In order to do that, he's got to almost go through Felipe's leg like you just saw him do, and obviously now a dangerous free kick in a tough spot.
Kian Gantley and Kostya Domorodski, the pair standing over here for Duluth FC as we're into the 26th minute, as I mentioned. Free kick here. Domorodski, the leading goal scorer for the Blue Greens with 5 goals. He'll clip it in now. Missed the target. Now Colin O'Mahony steps through, gets a shot away, and the save is going to be made. Good job by Roach on that one, Coach. Waiting for the deflection off that one. Roach read it well, though, and was able to smother it off the turf.
Yeah, man, in the end, it's a fairly routine save to make in terms of the initial shot, but because it was deflected and because he was a bit screened, you sometimes wonder if a goalkeeper is going to give up a deflection there or an opportunity at a second ball, and good job on his part to smother the ball and not let Duluth have a second chance at the ball.
Yeah, those can be tricky, especially coming from that distance, because you're never quite sure off that deflection whether it's going to make a difference or not. Here's Jake Starling now. Solaris. Kane tried to come in and strip him from behind. Solaris steps through and gets it outside. Here's Ken Pride.
Man, you just see how confident Duluth is in playing the ball into Solaris there. I mean, he had 2 guys on him. They're still going to play a ball into him and just expect that he's going to be able to deal with it.
And now Felipe Oliveira taking a knock to the noodle off of a deflected ball. That one caught him, I think, on the left-hand side of his head. And
yeah, I'm sure he's seeing a couple stars here, Matt, and hopefully everything okay.
Right, yeah. Just making sure that everything's all right. Good job by the center official to see that Felipe Oliveira was struggling a bit, so take some time now for consultation over there. It looks like assistant coach Barry Chasty having a word or two with Kean Gantley and also Felipe Oliveira.
Yeah, Matt, with the rotation tonight, we talked in the pregame, wasn't sure. I actually thought maybe we'd see Colin O'Mahony up in the forward spot, but it's been Kean Gantley up in the forward, and O'Mahony returning to his home at the left back spot in the absence of Miles back there.
And there's certainly a glut of defenders on this Duluth FC team, and high-level defenders, so versatility was going to be an important part of the team's success this season. So far, so good in that regard, Coach, 6-0.
Yeah, another example of that versatility is Ken Pride. We've seen him on a number of occasions come into his central back spot, center back spot, and tonight out on the right wing, which he has played a bit of this season as well.
Here's Kane now getting through. Through here, Romanch and out on top trying to leave it for Leon, and it's cleared away by the Blue Greens.
Yeah, and I saw the idea there from Gage, and I think in the end, just to play that ball back square is going to be a tough one. It's going to be easy for Duluth FC to get on that. If he can put an angle on that ball, either drop it back into the path of a midfielder coming on, or trying to pick off somebody at a forward angle, it's going to have a higher success rate.
Kaiser now to the outside. And be tackled out here. Nearly a half hour gone now in the opening 45 minutes. Still scoreless. Couple looks, I should say, for each team. Getting it in deep into the 18. But nothing in the back of the net so far. Game has settled down a bit. It was a little bit wide open in the first 10 minutes, but since then it's settled down a bit as Domaratsky now. For Kian Gantley, comes right back to Kostya Domaratsky. And we'll have a foul call now on Kane, it looks like, and a free kick here for Duluth FC.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of nips at the ankle there for Kostya, and good job of earning another free kick deep in the United half.
Sabatini now into the middle. Jake Starling. Solaris dropping him back now from that midfield role. A little bit deeper. Same thing with Paul Bobai now, who steps over, takes it wide. Domaratsky. Back for Starling. Solaris trying to play it to the outside, now flicked away. Starling now over the top. Sabatini deals with it well, keeps it in.
Very well done there from Dylan, wasn't it?
It was really well done. Here is Tyler Limmer now stepping through. Check it, it was Kian Gantley. Yeah, Limmer making the run to the outside. Now here's Bobai, Paul Bobai. Turning now on the right foot. Outside edge of the box. Kostya Domaratsky taking it wide. Crosses it in. Bobai has an open look, decides not to take it. And now cleared away. Here's O'Mani. O'Mani now will draw a throw.
Matt, I'm sure Paul Bobai is going to want that one back. You're 6 yards out.
Yep.
At some point you need to pull the trigger there. But another dangerous sequence that started from a strong tackle in the midfield by Andre Solaris.
Dylan Sabatini now on the right foot. Trying to go wide for Ken Pride. That one broken up. And it'll go out of play. It'll be a throw here coming up for the Blue Greens. Now, Bobai had a good look there 10 yards away, Coach. Just want to have him pull the trigger on that one.
Yeah, even to hit it first time, I thought maybe he had a window to do that.
Starling now. There's that high press again, giving a little bit of grief to Jake Starling. Going back, O'Mani, well done by Colin. Now an angling ball far side, brought down by Ken Pride. Pride's got some space. Now he comes forward on the right foot. Leaves it off now. Here's Kian Gantley, edge of the 18. Gantley for the Blue Greens. Playing it back now. Felipe Oliveira, who seems to have suffered no ill effects. Plays it in the middle. Now takes another crazy hop. Here's Solaris. Andreas Solaris will get a shot away, and that one will rise high. Duluth FC with a couple of good looks here in the last couple of minutes, Coach.
Yeah, and they're starting to wake up a little bit on their counter press too, Matt, where you've seen them lose the ball, but they've won it right back, and it's provided them a couple of second look opportunities.
And there'll be a goal kick here now for Jack Roach, who's going to take his time here. Probably time to slow things down a little bit for his squad. He sends this one forward. Majewski is the first for the head for Minnesota United, now brought down. Volley forward, now Starling. Solaris. We'll go all the way back now for Alex Bradis. Outside Sabatini. And now he gets taken down by Majewski, and they're not going to call a foul there.
Yeah, Matt, I thought he certainly did clip him there. I'm surprised they've allowed the ball to go back in so quickly. You would think maybe the official would have seen that there's a player down. The ball is stopped. It's out of play.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they definitely missed that one, and now he's going to make the call. I think that was a clear miss by our center referee, or at least.
Yeah, no question that there was contact there, Matt. It should have been a foul. It's an easy one to call.
And that's what Dylan Sabatini is saying to him, you know.
Yeah, and I think he's got a case to make.
I would tend to agree.
But we'll play on here.
Even Majewski knew that he had gotten him. I mean, you
think,
can tell. Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Here's Solaris now. Off the restart, back for Jake Starling.
Matt, I think this has been about the best that we've seen an opponent press Duluth FC. United's been very systematic in the way that they've pressed. They really haven't allowed a lot of seams for Duluth to get through.
There's Oliveira now flicking it over the top, brought down. Now here's Kean Gantley. Gantley now to the outside. Here's Tyler Limmer. Limmer on the right foot. And he goes for the shot. There's nobody there coming through, and Domorotsky trailing the play just a little bit.
Matt, and again, just a little bit of that sharpness lacking. You know, it's been that final product, and you've seen.
They've been able to get the ball into the 18 quite often.
Yeah, but I think Limmer mishit that one. I think he'd like to have that one back. We go back to Kostya had a mishit ball. You know, Solaris on his last sequence had a ball that he just kind of pooched wide. And
here's Limmer now into the middle. Here's Kean Gantley. Obai trying to continue it on, got broken up.
Good fight there from Kean Gantley to kind of stay over that ball.
Yep, now to the outside. Here's Oliveira. Has Pride with him. Uses Ken Pride, crosses it in. Now Domorotsky trying to get over the top of it and couldn't quite bring it down. And instead got under it and lifted it high. But Duluth FC began to tilt the field just a little bit here, Coach, later in the stages of the half.
Yeah, they're starting to be able to break that press a bit, Matt. And when they do, they're able to punish because they'll have numbers forward then. Kostya just not quite patient enough. His setup looked good. His mechanics looked good as he was trying to wind up for that volley. And just not able to get his hip high enough to stay over that ball.
Roach gives it a ride now. Solaris, first one to meet it. Waiting for it to be settled. Ball in the middle. Solaris was there first. Now the Little Loons will play it outside. It'll be a Minnesota United throw here into the 36th minute.
Left side of the bleachers.
Throw will come in. Zavattini there for Duluth FC. Flicked out on top. Now Lajewski in the middle. Starling able to clear it away. Here's Domorotsky. Well done to square it outside now. O'Mani on the left foot. Back for Kostya Domorotsky. Domorotsky now picks up his head. He's moved around a couple of players. Calmly will distribute for Dylan Zavattini, who takes over midfield. Zavattini on the right foot. For Ken Pride, couldn't bring it down. And now it's Joe Nagasho who gets taken down, and it'll be a foul against Ken Pride on the outside. Free kick here for the Little Loons.
Matt, going back to Kostya's last sequence there, just shows the calmness that he can bring to the game. You know, obviously, a lot of times he's in there to kind of amp up the play and be more dynamic and really, you know, get into some of those isolation situations, but as he tracks back there and it's just a calm outlet for Duluth FC, again, just having that presence out there can really allow a team to settle in.
Now Gantley's going to be whistled for a foul again into the back of Joe Nagasho. It'll be a free kick taken quickly here by Minnesota United.
Yeah, pretty easy call there, I think, Matt, as he just kind of came through the back of his leg.
Drew Brown now to the outside. Here's Limmer. Kean Gantley. Angling ball now. Here's a full-on foot race. Roach out of his 18 plays it short.
Good ball there from Kean Gantley. Just a little bit extra on it, but the angle was good. The weight looked good as it came off his foot. And obviously Roach did a nice job coming off his line and quickly to it he needed to.
Free kick here coming up, taken quickly by Duluth FC captain Jake Starling, and unable to keep it in on the near sideline was Colin O'Mani. Will have a throw here coming up.
This throw-in brought to you by Grand Avenue Veterinary Clinic.
And it looks like it will be Perry Blay that'll take the throw.
Matt, I do a double take every time I hear that name.
Yeah, I saw that in the roster for the two teams here coming into the game today, and I was kind of with the same mindset that you were, which is, well, that's interesting. Similar syllables, just differently put together. Of course, we're talking about Blake Perry. That's the sound in the name that we're referring to.
Well, Matt,
reference to Perry Blay.
I can't, in all honesty, say that I never tried to change Blake Perry's name to
Perry Blay.
All sorts of different concoctions there. Perry Blay being one of them, just to try to see if we can edge out a few more years of eligibility for him.
There's Perry Blay again, this time taking the ball off the foot of Domorotsky. Now long ball far side.
He's onside.
And here's Lajewski now coming in. Lajewski at the top of the 18. He'll turn and shoot. Brought down by Zavattini. Okane has his hands on his head. I think he was expecting a pass on that one.
Well, and in that, I think Dylan might have gotten away with a handball there. It seemed to hit him in the side and maybe the hand first. I don't know if there was enough to give away a penalty there, but it was close. And you saw the reaction from Minnesota. Zavattini and Starling both got caught high as they were trying to play sort of an offside trap there.
Now Gasho will take it wide. Drew Brown. Brown now coming forward. Left-footed ball in the space for Kane making a run. Good diagonal play here by Minnesota United. And now a foul going to be called on Zavattini there, and that should be a card.
Yeah, automatic yellow card there. Both tactical and a bit late.
And Solaris barking at his teammates to get back defensively.
I think both teams need to be aware here. We've seen, Matt, a lot of goals in these opening 6 games in the final minutes of the first half. As both teams kind of wear down a little bit, and there's just a little bit more, tired minds, tired bodies out there trying to get through the last 5 minutes.
So our first yellow card goes to Dylan Zavattini in the 40th minute. It'll be a free kick now here for Minnesota United on an angle, far sideline. Romanchin will take it, flicks it into the middle. Not dealt with real well, and the shot goes wide by Leon. Didn't get as much on it, I think, as he wanted to, and it went a little bit wide. O'Mani couldn't find it at first.
Yeah, just sort of skimmed off the top of the head. I don't remember if that was it Pride or...
Kind of popped up on the air on Colin. I don't think that he knew where it was at first second there. And it'll be Bradis now to take the goal kick here. Bradis gives it a ride toward midfield. Leon heading it down now. Here's Kane on the outside. Leo Kane stepping around now, playing it into space. Lajewski. And here's a shot. Save is made by Paredes. Good job that time by Paredes to come off.
Again, really quick off his line was Alex Paredes, and needed to be. United starting to find some of those little seams. And you'll see what they do is the initial forward, Cooper, will come off the line and pull one of the center defenders with, and it allows for a midfielder or another winger to get in behind that back line. That time it was Jake Starling was left all by himself.
This is something they're going to have to, like I said, clean up at halftime here. By the way, our next home broadcast, you can look at it on your screen, coming up this Saturday against La Crosse Eris. Second time that the Blue Greens will have seen them. That'll be a 7 p.m. opening kick. Coach Mooney and I will be on with the pregame starting at about 6:45 or so.
Well, Matt, again, I don't think we've seen anybody up to this point that has played as well in a front three, as a unit. Some of the give and take that the forwards for United have done, it really has given Duluth FC some fits. And it's something they're going to need to sort out here before the second half.
Solaris now squares it outside. Here's O'Mani coming across midfield. To the outside, now Domaratsky. It's Perry Blay. A couple of step overs from the Ukrainian. Now standing on the edge of the 18. He'll kick it back outside. And now Duluth FC will look to switch the point. Zavattini now playing on a yellow card on the right foot. 43rd minute here. Scoreless from Public School Stadium as the lights come on here just before the intermission. Now Starling. Go all the way back now, and here's Paredes. Back outside now, Zavattini. Nice little move there to get around Lajewski on the right foot.
Yeah, really calmly done there from Dylan.
Playing an angling ball forward. Now Pride heads it back down into the middle. Step overs by Tamer Ibzace. And now shoved from behind by Bobai. It'll be a free kick here coming up. As halftime approaches here, scoreless. It's been an interesting tactical game here so far, Coach. As they play it short now, here's Ibzace coming forward across midfield. And they play it into space, intercepted. The ball near side. Good job by Perry Blay to come in and read that. Taken off of his foot by Domaratsky. Kostya Domaratsky. High press again from Minnesota United here. Solaris outside Starling. Nice dummy that time by Bobai.
Very heads up play there from Paul. Now
Domaratsky. Outside, O'Mani. got Limmer with him. Sends it in. Now here's Tyler Limmer. Turns on the right foot, gets a shot away off the post. Oliveira back into the middle. Danger here for Minnesota United, and they're able to clear it. And it goes on a play. It'll be Duluth FC throw, but that was
Matt,
the best scoring chance either team has had.
Two huge opportunities there. Limmer off the crossbar, and I think Roach just got a fingertip to it to push it up and out of the way.
Now ball into the box again. Popped up into the air. Domaratsky. And O'Manny now will come back. Here's Jake Starling. Starling now. Bobai to the outside, Zavattini. Right off of the crossbar.
Yeah, and then it fell right to Felipe Oliveira, and he had a nice turn to play that ball back in into a dangerous spot, and just forward just couldn't quite get on to the end of it.
We're approaching the 45-minute mark now as Connie breaks back the other way for Minnesota United. And then his touch lets him down as it's taken away by Starling.
Yeah, and he saw Cooper making that sort of that back shoulder run. Just mishit the ball at the end.
Now into the middle. Damer Ipsace again. He's had a busy first half for Minnesota United as they go to the outside. Now here's Gasho. Jonah Gasho with the left-footed ball over the top. Kane was offside by about a good yard or so, and we'll see how much added time they have here. Probably not a whole lot.
Yeah, ball was still moving there, and I think Dylan's saying that one of the United players maybe got just a touch on it on his way by.
Zavattini now into the middle.
They're trying to go quick out of it.
Starling. Bobai. To the outside now, Domaratsky. Goes to Domaratsky. And we're going to have a foul called. Getting surprised by some of these calls, Coach, to be honest with you. And
well, I think it was kind of an accumulation foul there because I do think Coney got a piece of Jake Starling as Starling released the ball, and then, you know, the second contact came on Kostya. I think it was, like I said, maybe just an accumulation of both.
Felipe Oliveira now dancing around, trying to get into the 18, taken off of his foot. Now Ibzace, good square ball to the outside. Juski coming all the way back on the right foot. Bending a ball over the top, flag stays down. Coming on now, here's Ibzace. Ibzace now trying to cross it in, trying to hit Kone and overshot him. It'll be a goal kick, and that's how the half will end here as the whistle goes. 45 minutes in the books, Coach. No score, good chances both ways. Best opportunity coming off the right foot of Tyler Limmer, hitting the crossbar, but nothing in the back of the net so far. Your score at the break, Duluth FC nothing, Minnesota United under 19s nothing. Your impressions of that first 45 minutes?
Well, Matt, if the last 5 minutes of the half are any indication of what we're going to see in the second half, like, buckle up. Because, you know, it took about 40 minutes to really get in. You know, both teams had a chance here or there. We saw some good play, but the last 5 minutes, it really sprung to life here for both teams, both ends of the field. So, like I said, hopefully the next 45 will be a lot like that last 5.
Scoreless so far, but it's been entertaining. 45 minutes down, 45 to go between Duluth FC and Minnesota United under 19s. And with that being the case, we'll take an extended break and then come back with the start of the second half of this Minnesota Super Cup debut for Duluth FC against Minnesota United. That's coming up in about 15 minutes. This is Duluth FC Soccer, brought to you courtesy of the Blue Green Stream Team.
Hi, I am Dr. Lauren Wallace. I am one of the primary care physicians at St. Luke's Miller Creek Medical Clinic. I always tell people the most important thing is that they are in control of their health. We talk about joint decision makings. It's a decision that we make together on what's the next step. I want them to improve their health, right? That's the whole goal of medicine. And so we sit down and we talk about, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And then we make a plan. How do we get to that point in the healthiest way possible?
For your heart. For your hope. For your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future.
getting ready for the start of the second half of this Minnesota Super Cup contest between the Duluth FC Blue Greens and Minnesota United U-19, the Little Loons. And Coach talked about this a little bit in that first half. Some tactical things that the Little Loons sent the Blue Greens' way that they haven't seen much so far this season, and Duluth FC kind of grew into the game a little bit as the half wore on. A couple teams here getting good chances through the first 45 minutes. Tyler Limmer hitting the crossbar in the last 5 minutes of the half. Best scoring opportunity for the Blue Greens, but we're still scoreless here as we get ready for the second half. The Blue Greens making it looks like a substitution. Santiago Arazo coming into the game here. We'll see who he takes out. I'm guessing probably Dylan Zabatini would be my
looks like it, Matt,
preliminary guess, but second 45 minutes is just about ready to get underway, and we'll see how things play out here. But what are you looking for from the two clubs here as we begin the second half of action?
Well, Matt, like we said at the close of the half, I think if both clubs come out firing like they did at the end of the first half, I think we'll see kind of a break in the score line here.
So Arazo did come in for Zabatini, who, by the way, is giving some last-minute instructions. Looks like to Ken Pride on the outside here before he leaves the pitch.
Maybe let's try to start with 12.
Yeah, Zabatini taking his time getting off the field here. But Santiago Arazo, the native of Bogota, Colombia, comes in to replace the Brazilian Dylan Zabatini. The Blue Greens will kick off. That's the only immediate change here for Duluth FC as we begin the second half of play. And it looks like the Little Loons are going to stay with their original starting 11. So second half underway as Limmer sends it back now for Andres Solaris. And right away, here's Paul Bobai coming inside, getting a shot away. That one knocked down in the 18. Quick start there from Duluth FC, and now...
Well, that answers the question, doesn't it, Matt?
It does indeed. As Romanchin now coming forward. Now he hits the deck. We play on Oliveira. Felipe Oliveira in the middle now, Kean Gantley. And now losing his footing is Solaris, and that creates an odd man break now back to the direction. Here's Kane, edge of the 18. Kane turns around, gets a shot away, and that one will go wide. They're going to give it a corner kick, however. The first of the game for Minnesota United comes in the 46th minute, and Solaris blowing a tire on the way back.
Yeah, man, it looks like Jake Starling just got a touch on that ball.
And it'll be a corner kick on the far side corner flag here.
Going back to the substitution, Matt, I think, again, I think Dylan Zabatini had a good half, did a good job of busting up some of the plays and was good coming out with the ball. I think, this is maybe just a tactical change here to get Santi, a left-footed defender, in the center back position, which moves Jake Starling back onto his more natural right side.
Corner kick coming in. Ball's on the deck, still loose, and now cleared away here by Colin O'Mani for Kausha Domaratsky. And Perry Blay took it away from him, but it'll be last touched by the Little Loons far side. It'll be a throw coming up here for the Blue Greens. We're about to go into the 47th minute here, still scoreless. O'Mani looking for an outlet here. In for Oliveira, Felipe Oliveira. Domaratsky, O'Mani. And he sprays that one over the far sideline. It'll be a throw coming up here now for Minnesota United.
Yeah, Matt, that last sequence that led to the corner, it looked like it was just maybe a miscue between Kean Gantley and Andre Solaris. Looked like Solaris wanted it onto one foot, and it came to the other side, and as he tried to kind of just sort out his footwork, he ended up on his backside, and it led to a 4v2. Duluth, again, just maybe a little bit lucky that they're not been punished by some of these turnovers in the midfield.
We've seen some mistakes on the Blue Green side that we haven't seen this season, Coach, and that's credit to Minnesota United, I think, to a certain degree, just because of the style in which they're playing and the approach they've taken to the game here so far.
Well, again, Matt, they've seen a different level of press from United, and it has put them under pressure that maybe they're not as used to, and they've had to sort some of those problems out, and they haven't been as quick to get them solved as you would hope, and it's led to some miscues, but again, they haven't been punished on the score line yet.
Throw coming up now. Perry Blay will take it here as the throw comes in.
And sometimes that bit of grace is all a team needs to actually come back down and punish the other way.
Edge of the Blue-Green 18. Whole bunch of feet in there, and now it's finally played out over there by Solaris. We'll have a throw coming up here.
Yeah, Arazo actually lucky he didn't get stripped there. He tried to do a move, sort of a drag back and move, and Maybe not the best area of the field to do that.
Now throw comes in. Here's Oliveira. Felipe Oliveira. Solaris now collects. Sends it near side, and they're going to call a foul and bring it back.
Really well done there from Andres Solaris. And again, it's just, you know, really kind of just a gritty play between the midfielders, and all of a sudden the ball finds its way on to Andres, and he just solves problems, doesn't he?
He does. He's just a very, very heady player. I've been trying to explain his style of play to people, and it's a combination of headiness and also just knowing how to use his body. Like I said, not the tallest guy, about 5'6", 5'7", but he knows how to get things done with the size that he has, as we'll have a throw now coming up. Will be taken far side by Miguel Leon for Minnesota United. As the throw comes in, getting a touch to it there was Thomas Kanizer. Kanizer has it at his feet, now it's taken away. Here's Domaratsky. Kostya Domaratsky to the outside. Bobai now. Trying to go outside with it. Another throw going to be coming up now for Minnesota United. One thing I've noticed about the Little Loons, they press very well. They do, after they turn it over, they do put pressure on defensively almost immediately. As the ball's now in the middle. Ibse's had it now on the outside. Blay in the middle. Now taken away. Here's Paul Bobai dancing around for Duluth FC. In the middle now, Solaris. Distributes near side. Here's Kean Gantley taking a touch inside. Touch it into the defender. Now it's taken away. And now they release Kane near side. Leo Kane, edge of the 18, now comes inside. Couple of step over moves. Plays it back. Now here's a shot right on, and the save is going to be made. Went off the right boot of Kanizer, grabbed by Paredes.
Matt, I couldn't tell. Was there a little touch on that ball that took a little bit of the steam off it, or was that a
I
direct
don't know,
kick
yeah.
into Alex's hands? Either way,
Paredes gives it a ride over midfield now. Limmer trying to turn and go with it. Gets a foot to it now. Here's Brown. Drew Brown with the left foot. Pride. Oliveira. Now Limmer. Bobai trying to hit Gantley over the top. Has it taken away, and now again Minnesota United. Ball over the top for Kane. Flag stays down. Plays it in the middle, overshoots Lajewski. And now Paredes comes over, and it'll be a goal kick here coming up. And looks like it'll be
Paredes in a foot race there, and Alex sliding in just to get a touch on that ball.
We're going to have our second substitution for the Blue Greens. Rory Doyle's going to come in, take out Paul Bobai. It appears. Oh, no. In fact, they're going to take out Oliveira. Bobai thought he was coming off. Instead, they were calling the number for Oliveira. So Oliveira comes out. Rory Doyle will come in. So the substitution for Duluth FC as Oliveira checks out. And a goal kick now for Paredes.
I think a pretty good night for Felipe Oliveira.
Now ball to the outside. Goes to Domaratsky on the right foot. Trying to step through. And they're going to call a foul on Perry Blay, who doesn't like the call, to say the least. Free kick now for Duluth FC.
We get an early look here at Rory Doyle. He's had a nice string of games here, Matt.
Arazo. Starling now back outside. Arazo. Arazo's ball to the outside. Taken now by United in their own end. Hermanson now gets it into the middle. Ibsais now on the right foot. Plays it wide. Brown's angling ball forward. Broken up by the Blue Greens. Now Domaratsky.
Matt, you can see just Doyle, as he's come in here, just really made use of his fresh legs. He's just a little bit quicker than I think everybody else in the midfield right now, just closing some of that space down, just kind of being pesky in there.
Now here's Ken Pride on the right foot. Pride picking out Doyle. Doyle in the middle now. Bobai leaves it for Solaris. Solaris now clipping it over the top. Here's Pride on the back door, and they're going to call him either for a handball or offside.
Yeah, I think he was just leaning in the offside position there. Nice heads-up play from Andre Solaris to try to pick him out.
And we'll have now a goal kick. Check it, a free kick coming up. Jack Roach will take this one. Playing the ball forward, Starling wins it. Second ball to Brown. Now it's Kane on the right foot. Playing the ball through the middle. And it's grabbed by Pratis, top of the 18. Now it's O'Mani. Colin O'Mani, academic All-American as well as being his conference's Defensive Player of the Year. 397 in kinesiology for Colin O'Mani. So you'd be surprised if there's a physical therapy role for him somewhere in the world at some point. As Doyle now had taken off of his foot. Now Limmer trying to come back. Free ball in midfield. Won by
Good
Solaris.
tackle.
Check it was Santi Arazo. Now to the outside. Domaratsky on the outside. Kostya Domaratsky on the right foot now. Blay crossing it in. Now O'Mani. Here's the head ball from Bobai. Didn't get all of it. Now it comes near side. Antley. Cross coming in from Ken Pride gets cleared away. Now Solaris. Andrea Solaris. Pride. Starling. Getting it over the top. Domaratsky now. Tried to volley it forward and ended up touching it over the byline. It'll be a goal kick here coming up.
This goal kick brought to you by Lake Superior Real Estate.
Couldn't get that 5'9" frame on that head ball. Paul Bobai. Just a little bit too short for that one, and it looks like Minnesota United about to make a substitution as well here. Their first of the game. As we're into the 55th minute. Roach gives it a ride toward midfield. Arazo heading it down. Bobai heading it down, and now a foul going to be called on Duluth FC, and we'll have the substitution. It looks like it will be the end of the night here for Miguel Leon as he checks out. And a free kick now for the Little Loons.
Matt Santiago-Razo's been tested a couple times here in his opening 10 minutes of the game, and he stepped up in a big way. He's won a couple headers. You saw the big defensive sliding tackle that he made.
And a whistle against Duluth FC will result in another free kick coming up here as Thomas Kanizer stands over it. Gives it a ride forward. Flicked up in the air by Ken Pride. Now Arazo. Edge of the 18, and they're going to call Razzo now into the back, and a free kick here coming up 20 yards or so away from goal.
Dangerous spot here, Matt. I wonder if Duluth is going to bring one more player back to help out with this call, or if they're going to keep two guys high. Looks like
we'll see.
To keep both Limmer and Coastie high.
The cage for Manchin that stands over this one on the right foot, it appears. Tough spot to get it up and down, Coach, from this spot. It's possible. It's not easy.
Yeah, there's a bit of space off to the goalkeeper's right.
We'll see if there's a 5-player wall now. And Manchin will put it in on goal. Probably playing it that way was the best way to go for him. It's hard to, like I said, to bring it up and down if you're going high.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of height in the wall, Matt.
No, yeah, it's.
Again, I think Duluth's going to feel like they're probably flirting with a little bit of disaster here.
Yeah.
Some of these opportunities that they've given away throughout the first 58 minutes or so.
This stoppage brought to you by Gitche Boone Soccer Club.
It's off the throw now. Outside now, Drew Brown coming forward, sending a ball. That one deflects. Paredes.
Yeah, Matt, I think Kone would have been onside there because Starling had made a play for the ball.
Ball forward, and now will be a throw coming up.
The stoppage brought to you by Dublin Pub, downtown Duluth.
By the way, the substitute is Christopher Vang on the far side. Now here's a giveaway again by Duluth FC. In the middle now, here's Kane. Playing it right back. Coming in, here's a shot, and they score. So they were flirting with disaster, and there it is.
Yeah, and was that Vang that
It was Vang who gets the
scored,
goal.
kind of making his presence known right away?
A goal coming in the 59th minute.
Nice feed in there from Kone as well as he took that ball nicely. Another example of a giveaway, like we said, Matt. At some
Just got
point,
too
some
sloppy
of
in the back.
those turnovers are going to come back to haunt them. They had been kind of flirting with it for a bit.
Yeah, just not very heavy by Duluth FC, to be honest with you, the last few minutes.
Looks like Felipe Santos ready to come on. Luis Felipe.
Yeah, I think that's how you. Felipe Santos is how I have him, but he's going to come on here. And Kean Gantley is going to leave the game here, it appears, so he will come out. So Santos comes on, Gantley comes out. So the goal is Vang's, the assist to Kane, and it's 1-0. Now Duluth FC has an uphill climb to make here. They have not been sharp, I would say, for the balance of the game, Coach. They've had a few good moments, but
Matt, good to see Luis Felipe come on here. He's had a few nice substitution appearances throughout the first 6 games. He can be a bit of a difference maker. You see him really try to create from the outsides. When he gets into isolation opportunities, he's very dangerous. Stretches the field well.
all ball forward, Santos. Solaris now into the middle. Domaratsky to the outside. Vang, the goal scorer, gets his foot to it. It'll go out of play. It'll be a Duluth FC throw coming up.
This stoppage brought to you by East Select Soccer.
And O'Mani in for Doyle, who promptly sprays it out of bounds. Duluth FC just not sharp.
Yeah, Matt, we're seeing a lot of uncharacteristic turnovers. I wonder a little bit is, some of the players that have had, 5, 6 starts now up to this point, making their 7th appearance or 7th start on the campaign. Are they starting to show, some signs of fatigue?
Well, and that should be a yellow card.
Yeah, pretty easy card, I think, to give there on that one.
Yeah, Kanizer jumping onto the back of Tyler Limmer as we get the restart.
And to be fair, Tyler Limmer, big enough frame, I think he can handle it.
Yeah, he only has about 5 inches on Kanizer over there. Free kick here coming up. Will be taken by Arazo for Jake Starling. Now O'Mani coming forward for Domaratsky. There's a lot of one-on-one stuff happening right now with Duluth FC, and it's not working out very well. And now O'Mani.
Well, Matt, I think what
Solaris.
we've seen here tonight has been just, again, from nice takeaway there from Santos.
Santos, yep. Here's Doyle to the outside. Now Pride laying it on. Bobai into the middle. Overshot the intended recipient, who was going for the header, that being Tyler Limmer. Now cross back in. Headed away. Arazo.
Yeah, Matt, I think it was actually Rory Doyle on the far post there.
Here's Limmer. Turns and shoots, and that one might have taken a deflection and going wide.
Signs of life, though, for Duluth FC.
Yep.
A couple good opportunities there. But, Matt, I was starting to say, I think this Minnesota United team has shown Duluth FC just in terms of the technical ability and some of the structure that they've seen tonight. Again, just some of the systematic play and the pressing. I think a little bit more of a level if Duluth FC is able to get back into the MPSL and get in the swing of things and make it through to the playoffs. I do think this is some of the quality that they'll see come playoff time.
Here's Domorotsky going shoulder to shoulder with Perry Blay. Now Blay will play it out. It will be a throw here coming up for Duluth FC. O'Mani quickly, and now Domorotsky. Goes to Domorotsky. Arazo. Solaris. Now they switch it all the way near side. Ken Pride now on the right foot. Bending ball. Bobai tried to bring it down, and
yeah, I'm a bit surprised Paul didn't try to go directly on frame from there. Great ball into him. Good run.
And now a foul on Romanson as he takes down Solaris.
You're starting to see a couple of the mainstays for Duluth FC in Kostia, Solaris, some of these guys that are starting to try to take over the game a little bit. Being down a goal is not something that they've been necessarily accustomed to.
This is the third goal they've given up in 7 games. Arazo now over the back post coming through. Here's Limmer, and he got to that one, and they're going to make a call. It's going down. Actually, it was not Tyler Limmer. Let me amend that one. Is coming through. Rory Doyle.
I think it's O'Mani.
Is it O'Mani
on
coming
the deck
through
right now? Yeah.
Interesting that they called the foul on Manny when he got the ball.
Yeah, Matt, I understand trying to protect the goalkeeper, but at the same time, I think both players have an equal right to run off of the ball.
Right, yeah, and this center referee's made a couple of, unless there was looks like they called offside. That was what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, that one I can understand, but.
Then I retract any kind of gripe I was about to make.
Yeah, right, exactly.
What I was beginning to say, Matt, and you'll see this at times where the goalkeepers get a little bit extra protection, and I understand that, but again, I just think that there needs to be the ability for a forward to make, and finish their runs. So, but in the end, if it's offside, we can live with that call.
Right, yeah, exactly, because I was going to say, if he's going to call that a foul on O'Mani, that would have been the wrong call for sure. As the throw comes in. Off on the corner now, Perry Blay. 66th minute of a 1-0 contest. The goal, Christopher Vang, the assist to Leo Kane, who has the ball at his foot right now, and it's 1-0. Minnesota United trying to clinch a spot in the semifinal round of the inaugural Minnesota Super Cup, and now Felipe Santos gets taken down. It'll be a free kick now for Duluth FC. Actually, they're going to give it a goal kick. Could have called the foul on that one as well. And Paredes will give it a ride here. Alex Paredes for Duluth FC. Toward midfield. Bang had it momentarily. Now Doyle.
Well done from Doyle there.
Exactly.
Another example of one of those players stepping up here.
There's Domorotsky now for Duluth FC. He'll go back. Arazo. Jake Starling. Bends it near side. O'Mani now. Colin O'Mani. Now he gets taken down from behind, and that should be a card.
Should be a card, yep.
Yeah, and that's 2 now from Vang.
The stoppage brought to you by Quick Trip. Big on fresh, low on price.
Interesting there. Merrick Schaefer, if you saw that on your screen, pointed to his head as if to say, need to be smarter than that.
Yeah, I guess I didn't see that, Matt, but
yeah, just now he.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, O'Mani had him beat. And I think it was just sort of a last-ditch tackle, but at the same time, I don't know that O'Mani was really going to be able to cause a lot of problems from the angle that he had on it.
So here's Domorotsky standing over it. Domorotsky.
Yeah, O'Mani still has a little bit of a limp in his gait there.
He does, yeah.
I'm sure every soccer player at some point or another has felt the studs on the back of your Achilles or ankle there, and it's smart. It'll take a couple minutes before you walk that off completely.
Kosta Domorowski standing over 2-player wall here for the Little Loons. Bending ball comes in. Now out on top, Bobai. The shot blocked away by Lejewski. We'll have a throw coming up.
Bobai got a lot of that one on his weak left foot there, and boy, did he put some power behind it. We've seen that a couple times from him this summer, Matt. He's able to go on his left foot and get quite a bit of power generated.
Now Domorowski getting grabbed onto by Blay down there.
The center official here just saying, I think probably that's his last foul to give before he's on a card. You saw him kind of point to multiple spots on the field, and usually that means he's close to giving a card for accumulation foul.
So free kick again here. Domorowski standing over it. Bending the ball in, and getting a piece of it was Roach. And now another whistle. And they're going to call a foul on Doyle here.
Dangerous ball in there from Domorowski, wasn't it?
It was very dangerous.
To Roach's credit, he dealt well with it, and you know, for a younger goalkeeper to have to kind of plow through all those older, you know, just kind of thicker, wider, heavier bodies, you know, that traffic can be something that can mess with the goalkeeper a bit, and he did well to just kind of stand his ground and protect the net.
Off the said goal kick, comes all the way back. Now here's Paredes. Good job by Kosta Domorowski to read the second ball there on that one. Well, Doyle.
What a touch in there from Rory Doyle, wasn't it?
It was. Nice touch outside. Here's Ken Pride. Edge of the 18 now. Felipe Santos trying to turn it against Drew Brown, and he'll draw a corner kick here.
Well done from Santos. He had 3 defenders on his back. And another example, Matt, of just something that Duluth hasn't had to deal with yet this summer. They haven't seen a team that has had the systematic play to be able to send defenders out at will to deal with some of those kind of balls.
Corner kick here taken by Domorowski. Limmer's going to come short. Domorowski into the middle. Overshoots the intended target. Edge of the 18, now Starling. Trying to send it back in. And touched away, here's Vang. And a foul going to be called here on Starling.
Matt, the crowd has livened up a little bit here in the second half. We got the official number from John Schuster at halftime. Said it was 781.
781 was the number. That's the most we've had this season, I believe.
Yeah, great turnout here and for a midweek game as well, Matt.
Right, yeah. Free kick here coming up. This one taken by Roach again. He'll give it a ride. Rising up with Starling. Second ball now picked up on the outside. Ipsay now tracks it down, plays it back. Gasho.
A couple of subs warming up on the far side, Matt, for Duluth FC. Wonder 20 minutes to go, just under in full time. You wonder if Sean Morgan is going to go to any of his subs here anytime soon.
Down the middle. Here's Kane with his back to goal, top of the 18. Dispossessed by Solaris. Now Santos. And to bring Duluth FC back on the counterattack. He's got a step. Still got a lane he can exploit here. Santos crosses it in. Bobai turns, fires. Save is made by Roach. And now Brown.
Yeah, that one could have gone to either Bobai or Doyle. Paul did a good job to turn on it and got a decent shot off.
Solaris, Arazo, the outside, Colin O'Mani. Domorowski now, gonna dance his way wide. Plays it in, here's the shot and they score! Tyler Limmer on the goal.
Matt, what a move from Kostya. You saw the step over and just a long stride through. Great centering ball there. And then Limmer, just the deft touch. That's a number 9 that just knows how to poach goals, knows how to get just that slightest touch on the ball to redirect it. That's impossible for a goalkeeper to get. What a finish from him. Great goal, and it came from some good play from Duluth.
5th goal of the season for Limmer. The assist to Domorowski. And we're back to even with just over 17 minutes remaining here.
Matt, I am fired up right now. What a goal from Duluth FC. great answer there, and they really have kind of tilted the field back a little bit. You thought maybe a goal was coming, and there it is. We saw one substitution come on as well. As Connor Behan is in the game now.
Connor Behan is in. He's a playmaker in the middle, of course. And now here's Solaris. Well done to tackle away. Outside Domorotsky. Goes to Domorotsky. Got the assist on the goal just a moment ago by Tyler Limmer. Takes it wide, and now it'll be a goal kick. Tried to outrun Blade to the corner.
You think Duluth's got a little bit more pep in their step all of a sudden, Matt?
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see now how this plays out.
Another huge tackle there from Andreas Solares. He's been just terrific tonight. Really strong in the midfield. Lands on Koshia's
yellow
foot.
card for time wasting against Roach. Wondering if that was going to take place at some point. Roach has been taking a lot of time back there. And he gets the yellow card for time wasting, and now Vang, who is playing on a yellow card, and I'm not sure what happened over there.
Yeah, it looked like O'Mani was signaling to the assistant referee and the fourth official that he had been, somebody had put hands to his face. I'm not sure Rory Doyle even saw it, but just kind of saw there was a scrum escalating, and he's always going to get in the mix.
He is indeed. And Vang, who was a little bit rough since getting in there, scored the goal and then got a card. A couple of hard fouls, and
I'm sure this is all just kind of a cordial invitation between the two teams to maybe step over to the sideline, discuss it, and
yes, I'm sure that's exactly what it is. And now we're going to have a conversation, it looks like. And the center referee now is going to step in and calm things down here a little bit more as the clock continues to move. This will add a little bit of extra time.
Well, Matt, I agree that he stepped in. I don't know that I agree that he calmed anything down. Just from the look of body language out there.
Let's see if
it's. I would still say maybe at a low boil.
Keep an eye on Christopher Vang over there, by the way, along with O'Mani. That's Vang already playing on a yellow card. And O'Mani.
Matt, you don't always love to see all the extracurriculars out there, but I will say, I mean, it's the first time these two teams have really seen each other in any kind of game that matters. And, I mean, so just to, for the legitimacy of the Cup, the fact that it matters to both teams that much, I think is a good sign of what this Cup could become.
Right, yeah, I would tend to agree with you, Coach.
Again, that's not any kind of invitation for any kind of, extracurriculars or, any kind of violent conduct or anything like that. But I do think just kind of the amped up.
Well, now the fourth official, Jeremy Euchre's over there having a conversation. And we'll see if they decide to award any more cards after that scrum. Thankfully, there wasn't any punches thrown or any shoving. There was more just kind of aggressive dialogue would be the way I would describe it.
That's a good description of it. Again, I don't know what happened between O'Mani and
Vang over there.
Vang, sorry, yeah. I don't know what happened between the two of them, but you saw O'Mani immediately signal over to the AR on that side and to the fourth official that there was certainly some sort of confrontation. And after all that dialogue, we're putting the ball back in play. And
well, and then this comes on the heels of Roach, by the way, getting a yellow card for time wasting. So he's on a yellow. As off the free kick now. Everybody's had a little bit of time now to settle their nerves a bit. Here's Solaris playing the ball forward, intercepted by Brown. Bending ball forward, Arazo turns it back.
Man, I just can't say enough good things about the night that Andreas Solaris has had. And again, like it's a bit routine for us because we see him do it night in and night out, right? But I mean, just as the midfielder comes through his back, it just doesn't even faze him. He still gets the ball off. And it just, where you see other players,
he tends to keep his poise very well.
Well, he's got such a low center of gravity. He's a thick body. He's very strong.
Free kick coming up. Drew Brown will take it on the left foot. Top of the 18. There's that matchup. Vang again with O'Mani. And well done by O'Mani there to win the battle. Get it back to Arazo. Ending ball forward now here is Behan.
What a touch from Connor Behan there.
Now Behan popping it up into the air. Way off of his line is Roach. Now it's Domorotsky. Santos to the outside. Ken Pride In the middle now, Doyle. Back outside, Pride again. See if he can run this down. He won't be able to get there. And it'll be a goal kick now for Roach.
Well, Matt, through the first 78 minutes or so, I guess I would kind of describe the teams. You know, I think
Yeah.
United has certainly been the more systematic side, and,
Yeah.
and they've had more intention in the way that they've built and the way that they've found numbers in the attack. But I would say Duluth has found ways to just be a little bit more dynamic at times, and you know they're finding ways to be just dangerous.
Ball in the middle now, and now they pump it forward, will the Loons, and nobody making a run here for Minnesota United. So Paredes will wait for it to come to the top of the 18. Looks like right now Minnesota United content ready to kind of sit behind a little bit, absorb a little bit of pressure here with 12 minutes and change. Will be probably at least 3 or 4 minutes of added time, I would guess, based on just the conversations that we had in that last turnabout between the two teams. In the meantime, now Solaris trying to send a ball. Well done to pick out Domorotsky against Blay. Snipping inside, now Domorotsky. Goes to Domorotsky, still holding it. Now Arazo with some space in front of him. Plays it to the edge of the 18. Cleared away, now Domorotsky tracking all the way back for Starling.
Matt, you're starting to see Duluth FC just commit a few more numbers forward. You saw Arazo kind of drive through the central space there, and it's kind of pushed United back off a little bit, where we said originally they were kind of keeping 3 guys high, and now it looks like there's certainly just sort of a point person.
Here's
Cooper
Santos
staying high centrally.
in the middle. Plays it, here's Behan trying to turn. Behan got tangled up. Crowd wanted a call, none forthcoming. And now Starling. Duluth FC now really starting to tilt the field, coach.
Yeah,
as
that
they
would have
tick
been
down.
a tough call, I think, to give to Behan there.
Yeah, that's one of those where if you're Minnesota United, and I say this as a former defender, you got to be real careful in that situation.
Yeah, and again,
Make sure that you're very disciplined in your tackle.
yeah, I don't think there was a lot there. Good ball in from Santos, and again, just Duluth finding some ways to be threatening here.
Throw coming up far side, 1-1 contest. Both goals coming in the second half. And now here's a foul call. It's going down. Was Doyle will have a free kick coming up.
And we've mentioned Behan's name a couple times already since he's been on, and these last 10 minutes, I'm excited to see how he can continue to impact the game.
He's got that creative flair.
He's
Connor Behan.
He's maybe been one of my favorite players, if not my favorite new player, added to the roster this year. Just the extra, you mentioned, I mean, the flair that he brings to the game, and the way that he can really just kind of change the dynamic of the midfield.
Doyle will take this free kick, 35 yards. At an angle here. Plays it back post. In the middle, here's a shot attempt by Pride. No good. The bicycle kick, and it just misses. That was Arazo. And Minnesota United dodging a couple of bullets on that one.
Matt, I have
Right
no
into the middle.
idea how that ball stayed out of the net there.
Arazo did the full bicycle kick, just missed the near side corner. That would have been an all-time highlight reel goal for Duluth FC had that one fallen back of the net.
Well, on the initial ball that came across, I think it was off of Jake Starling's foot that he found the far post and somehow skated across the net. Nobody got a foot onto it, and then it ended up on Arazo's bicycle kick.
Here's Pride now. Solaris turning on the right foot. Bending a ball, far side, Blay. We'll play it back now. Here's Roach. Ball down by the outside back for Minnesota United there. And now Behan, they're going to call a foul on him, and that's a good call. As Blay goes down, but holy smokes. Talked about Duluth FC dodging a couple of bullets in that first half. Minnesota United, Little Loons, they dodged a couple of bullets right there.
Yeah, and Duluth, like we said, has been able to kind of trade back the press a little bit. You know, they were under a lot of pressure for a large portion of the game, and they've been able to really kind of spring forward and deliver their own press, and that's been sort of a positive change here for Duluth over the last 15 minutes or so.
Free kick by Roach as he came all the way forward. By the way, that substitute that came in from Minnesota United was Dominic Vargas. He's playing in a midfield role right now for the Little Loons. As here's Domorotsky.
Matt, I'm glad you were paying attention. I didn't even notice this. In all the melee, I've just been kind of I've been sucked in here.
There he is on the ball. Nice tackle by Solaris. How many times have we said that tonight? Now battle to the outside. Solaris again. Now here's Pride with a man on his back with Kane coming in from behind. And now Kane goes down, and we're going to have a foul called on Solaris, and that'll be a yellow for him.
Yeah, that's just a tactical foul in a card. It's an easy card to give. Solaris looked up, saw that they were going to be numbers down, and ripped the midfielder down, and he'll take his card, and off they go.
Kane with the assist. Gets up with a smile on his face, so it's okay. It appears. No harm, no foul. We'll have a free kick here coming up at an angle. Looks like it'll be Kanizer that'll take this one. As we're into the 83rd, about to go into the 84th minute here.
Matt, I just get the feeling this game's not going to end 1-1. I think there's another goal in there somewhere.
I'm surprised they haven't had more than the 2 goals that we've had, to be honest with you, between the chances the 2 teams have created.
It's been a wide open game for large stretches, hasn't it?
Kaiser gets into this one now, bends it through, headed away, well done there. Now Duluth FC will look to counter back. Here's Domorotsky getting around Blay. He's got space in front of him. Kosha Domorotsky now playing it forward for Limmer, Tyler Limmer. And now he'll be called for a foul, and that'll be another card. Just waiting for Domorotsky actually to get rid of that ball a little bit quicker, Coach. Yeah, Tyler Limmer gets that one.
Yeah, the official may want to just keep the card in his right hand, just kind of for easy
for
going.
For the time being, anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll have a...
Limmer showing quite a bit of spring in his step still for the 84th minute. He hasn't seen a lot of 90-minute efforts so far this summer. I don't know that he's had a 90-minute performance yet.
And he's got his 5th goal. That, by the way, ties Kosha Domorotsky for the team lead in goals for the season. This ball now brought down. Here's Behan. And a turn wide. Play intercepts. Overshoots Vang on the pass. And now here's Santiago Arazo. Solaris outside. Here's Limmer. Limmer against Drew Brown. As the overlapping Felipe Santos tried to use him, couldn't get him the ball. Now it's Ken Pride.
Yeah, Limmer uses his length so well, doesn't he? He's able to just...
6'3" frame of his, and
well, at times he looks so casual, but he's in full control the entire time, and he's able to just really dictate the space around him.
Razzo trying to squeeze a ball through a couple of Minnesota United defenders. Now it's Vang on the outside into the middle. Kanizer playing it for Vargas. Jonah Gasho now on the left foot. Now turns to his right. We'll play the support ball back instead for Brown. Drew Brown, who's been solid as a left outside back for Minnesota United tonight.
Yeah, Matt, I was going to just mention how much I've enjoyed watching him play tonight. He's really done a good job in the center back pairing. He cuts off a lot of passes, and he's very good as he takes his first touch forward at just finding good options forward.
Here's Doyle. Rory Doyle distributes outside now for Jake Starling. 45 appearances, club record and counting for Jake Starling. Plays it for Rory Doyle. Santiago Arazo. We're into the 86th minute, about to go into the 87th minute. To the outside now. Limmer flicking, or excuse me, Omani flicking it on now, looking for Kosha Domorotsky, and it's played out. We'll have a throw coming up, and it looks like Minnesota United going to make another substitution here, Coach.
Looks like Kone, maybe his night is done. He's had a really nice night. He's been very active. He's had a lot of opportunities.
Very good technical player.
Yeah, and he's been a nuisance.
Assisted on the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and he took that assist really well, didn't he?
He did. He did it very well. Been impressed with Minnesota United, the sense that the way they played tonight, they came in and you could tell that they knew they were not going to be the more physical team, the bigger, stronger team, and they've played a smart game to play with their strengths, and Kane certainly imbibed that tonight. As the throw comes in, and that one skips wide, and it'll be a goal kick now for Jack Roach.
This goal kick brought to you by Dublin Pub, downtown Duluth.
As off the restart now. Ball to the outside. That one tackled out now by Doyle. We'll have a throw coming up. Duluth FC, by the way, will play another game in the Minnesota Super Cup against Minneapolis City SC. That game will be played. That'll be the last actual, I guess you could say, regular season game for Duluth FC before the NPSL playoffs start up.
Good to see that rivalry, I'm sure, still alive and well.
Now Solaris. Vargas takes him down from behind. We get the restart, and they can play it quickly. Starling, far side Domorotsky. Doyle now. Arazo. Back for Rory Doyle. Doyle now into the middle, overshoots the intended recipient, and now here's a chance for Minnesota United to break back. Ball over the top, though, too much on it. And Paredes off of his line, scoops that one up, and now he'll roll for Santi Arazo. Name of Bogota, Colombia now coming forward.
Matt, I think Paredes has had a nice night tonight. He had the kind of the early miscue that they weren't punished on, and then had a couple saves in the meantime, and then obviously the goal scored on him at 2v1. I don't know there's a lot
I don't think there's anything he could have done about that one, Coach, if I'm being perfectly honest. Free kick here coming up now. So United playing everybody behind the ball at this stage. Not surprising, 89th minute. As Doyle stands over it. See if somebody can find a late game winner here. As Doyle plays it through. Domorotsky brings it down, and pops it back up. Here's Behan stepping through, tried to get a shot away, and it's smothered. Big save that time by Roach as he came off of his line.
That space, didn't he, Matt? Connor Behan just making his presence known. And I think the initial target might have been actually Santi Arazo, and he smartly realized he was offside, did not make a play for the ball, and allowed Behan to make the delayed run.
And a corner kick coming up as Limmer draws it. As we're into the 90th minute, probably 2 or 3 minutes of added time here. Domorotsky standing over it.
I love Limmer's approach to the game, Matt. I mean, it's the 90th minute, and he's not going to do anything special out of the corner there. So just to play it off the defender to get the corner kick.
Bending ball, stepping in, Pride the header down, saved, and then now this one deflects off into the corner, and we'll have another corner kick. Duluth FC physicality beginning to present itself a little bit here as Roach made a huge save on that one.
Well, Matt, I think you're right. Duluth FC for a stretch of this game would have probably felt pretty lucky that they were only down a goal at one point.
O'Mani laying it in. Roach comes out, punches it away.
But now I think it's United that's probably going to feel lucky over the last 15 minutes that they haven't conceded more than just the one goal.
Vargas now into the middle. Lajewski. That's the pass back. Now Lajewski into the middle. Fang trying to get away, get a shot away, and get away from the defender on that side, being O'Mani, and now cleared away by Duluth FC as it goes over midfield. In the middle now, here's Brown. Bringing it down and taken back to the direction. Cleared by Jake Starling. As we're into extra time now, first minute of extra time. Perry Blay. The outside for Vang. Goal score tonight for Minnesota United, plays it forward.
Well done from Pride there just to clean that up.
Yeah, Vargas now. And in the middle, here's Blay. Good job by Kostya Domorotsky to come back defensively. Now here's Behan. And Behan just overhit that ball a little bit. He had a little hop in his step. He
just couldn't quite put the angle on he wanted to.
Now he wanted to find Limmer as we're now in the second minute of extra time. Brown. Ball forward, gets through Pride. Now Lajewski dancing around on the right foot. Knizer, bar for Vang. Has it taken away from him. Now Doyle. Doyle's angling ball. Now Behan picks it up. Possibilities here as it comes wide now for Domorotsky. Domorotsky trying to play it in. Brown intercepts. And now they're going to make a call against Kostya Domorotsky here as we're into the third minute of extra time, and then
yeah, I'm sure Brown took exception to that. It was a little bit of a late challenge there from Domorotsky.
Yeah, they're going to give double yellows here, one for Domorotsky and one for Brown here.
Yeah, I'm sure Brown, the young man, like I said, took exception to it. I don't know that I would necessarily pick a fight with Kostya. He's not huge in stature, but
yeah, it's one of those where you.
there's a lot of fight in that number 10, I think.
Yeah, there is. Ukrainian center midfielder / forward. Played most of last year as an attacking midfielder for Duluth FC. This year's been playing more of a wing on the right side. He has an assistant at this, Kostya Domorotsky.
Yeah, there's not a lot you would say about Kostya that you haven't already said during the summer, right? He's just been
he's
very reliable option.
Starling heading it back down. Well, stepping through, here's Vargas against Doyle. We're into the 4th minute of extra time. Now Doyle stepping over, turns to his right, has space. In the middle now, Solaris sending a ball over the top and a little bit too much. That allowed Roach to come off of his line, and now he'll smother it.
Again, just not quite diagonal enough, and Roach did a nice job to get off his line there just to protect the lead.
To the outside now, here's Blay, and that'll go out of play. It'll be a throw here for Minnesota United. They're trying to kill it right now. I think they're just trying to get the point.
You know, that last ball, Matt, is one of those where for Solaris, if he's going from right to left, it's actually going to probably bend out of the goalkeeper's path a little bit and probably holds up nicely for the forward, but because he's going from left to right and it's a right curling ball, it's going to end up going right into the path of the goalkeeper.
Here's Santos now off the restart. And to make a move forward, here's Gasho. Back to the outside now. Ibses, who's had a very quiet second half. Played a lot of defense in the second half as Tamer Ibses. And look at the final whistle, and that's how it'll end. As we're into the 5th minute of extra time, and now the official gonna have to explain one more time to Duluth FC why there is an extra time here brought on, and game will end in a 1-1 draw. 1 goal each way in the second half. 56th minute, it was Christopher Vang off an assist from Leo Connie to make it a 1-1 contest, and then for Duluth FC, Tyler Limmer, his 5th goal of the season off an assist from Kostya Domorotsky, and that's how it ends, 1-1. Each team will take a point out of it. Duluth FC remains unbeaten on the season. Minnesota United 1-0-1 now in the Minnesota Super Cup. Duluth FC 0-0-1, and bringing up the rear is Minnesota City SC 0-1. So 4 points for Minnesota United, 1 point for Duluth FC in the standings, and 0 points so far for the Crows. And Coach, your final assessment of this one, it was a interesting game. We weren't quite sure what we were going to get heading into this game here tonight, and good moments both ways, some shaky moments both ways, but at the end of 90 minutes of play, we ended up settling for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, Matt, I think both teams are going to feel that the 1-1 draw is probably fair. You know, I think that either team would probably feel like they had their chances to win it, but they also probably also feel in some ways they were lucky to get out of here with a point. Obviously, it keeps things interesting in this sort of, what would you call it, like the triangle, you know, of the
yeah, I
of
guess the triangle
here.
of the three. Yeah. Group A, I guess you could say. That's what it's technically known as in the Minnesota Super Cup, but yeah.
Yeah, so obviously it keeps things interesting there because, as you mentioned, United will finish off on 4 points in this round, and Duluth FC and Minneapolis City will be playing for essentially that second spot in the next round. So all weight goes into that game.
Yep, everything goes into that game, and Duluth FC now at 6-0-1 overall, still undefeated, and have not dropped any points in the MPSL, and that will be the case until they play Minneapolis City SC at the end of the season, when the Blue Greens will play the Crows with a shot to go to the semifinal round of the Minnesota Super Cup. In the meantime, Duluth FC, their next contest, following this 1-1 draw against Minnesota United under-19s, will come up this Saturday, June 10th, as they take on Lacrosse Aris FC for the second time this season here at Public School Stadium. Myself and Coach Mooney will be bringing you all the play-by-play. 7 p.m. the opening kick there. 6:45 the pregame. Duluth FC going to try to sweep the series from Lacrosse Aris after a 1-0 win against Aris in their first meeting down in Lacrosse. That game was pretty contentious as well, so Be interesting to see how that one plays out.
A lot of
here,
fire to
but-
that one, Matt, and really just a choppy performance. You know, and I guess I would say, you know, of this game that we just saw, you know, I think it was probably the sloppiest that we've seen Duluth FC play. They just never really kind of found their rhythm, did they? So, you know, you hope that by the time they get back into NPSL play this weekend, obviously with a big one coming up against the Cross, like you said, it was a contentious matchup the last time, a really choppy matchup. So you would think that they have a couple good days of training here and try to kind of find their full form again.
So 1-1 the final score here. Big thank you to everybody who watched. Big thank you also to our stream team, the crew here, John Law, our production engineer, and Tara Anderson, our camera person. Some of the best in the biz as far as the NPSL level anyway, doing it here. And, of course, Coach Joe Mooney to my left. So for John, Tara, and Coach Mooney, this is Matt Johnson. One more time repeating the final score. Duluth FC 1, Minnesota United under 19s 1. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope you'll be joining us on Saturday. This has been Duluth FC Soccer, brought to you courtesy of the Duluth FC Stream Team.